Men, human beings, were ready to use any means, even to attract animals to their side. War elephants, battle dogs, etc. Marine animals were not left out either. As a result, completely unique units were created. One of them was the unit of dolphin saboteurs. Combat dolphins are special forces units in which dolphins are trained to perform combat missions, protecting naval installations and patrolling coastal areas, destroying enemy saboteurs and providing comprehensive assistance to their divers, searching and detecting underwater objects, mines, torpedoes, submarines, and so forth. And I have described Soviet and Russian programs involving combat dolphins in my other videos. You can find them in my channel. It is believed that humans have the largest brain on Earth relative to body weight. With a mass of 100 kilograms, the brain weighs 1.5 to 2 kilograms. Dolphins, they have a similar ratio. The brain of a white-bellied dolphin with a body weight of 100 kilograms weighs about 1 kilogram. And the bottlenose dolphins, they have almost 2 kilograms. For comparison, the brain of a 100 kilogram shark weighs only a few tens of grams. Some researchers believe that bottlenose dolphins are superior even to monkeys and dogs in training, but it is precisely because of such abilities that this species has suffered the most from humans. I know about the Black Sea experiences, but you'll find much more, of course. Bottlenose dolphins, a special kind of Mediterranean and Black Sea dolphins, are a very intelligent animal. They're friendly to humans, quickly get used to them, and are well trained. But it all started in ancient Greece. There are cases when in ancient times dolphins would save drowning people, or they would drive sharks away from people. The most famous story in ancient times about the rescue by a dolphin of the famous poet of antiquity Arion was described by Herodotus. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote the following in his famous work, The History of Animals. Of the marine animals, the most stories are about dolphins, about their gentleness and ability to tame. The ancient Greek writer and philosopher Plutarch, maybe there is another way to pronounce it, Plutarchus, brought to us the legend that a dolphin saved Telemachus, the son of the hero of the Trojan War, Odysseus. Telemachus fell out at sea as a child, and for this rescue, the grateful Odysseus put the image of a dolphin on his shield. Next, Plutarch told about two companions of Ptolemy Soter, Sotel and Dionysius, whom the Egyptian ruler sent to Sinope to deliver a statue of the god Serapis. On their way to Alexandria, they were caught in a storm and could have died if not for a dolphin that guided them through the storm. Sotel and Dionysius landed safely in Kira, a town near Delphi, named after a dolphin. The ancients associated the dolphin not only with sea deities, but also with Apollo. In the Homeric hymn in honor of this deity, you can find lines about how Apollo, taking the form of a dolphin, jumped out of the sea onto the ship of Cretan, meaning from the island of Crete, merchants from Knossos, and helped them get to the nearest port. After that, the Pythian sanctuary of Apollo was founded on the southwestern slope of Mount Parnassus. According to the hymn, since Apollo called people to his sanctuary in the form of a dolphin, he himself became known as Delphinium. The altar became known as Delphinium and the city as Delphi. Modern scientists believe that Apollo Delphinius was an ancient deity dating back to the turn of the second and first millennia before Common Era. The connection between dolphins and humans, well, I've described it before, but let me tell here. The ancients could perceive the appearance of a dolphin as a good sign for humans. It is no coincidence that the dream book of Artemidorus and the work on divination by the ancient Roman philosopher Cicero indicate that a dream with a dolphin swimming in the sea is a good omen. Such a sign could indicate to the sailors where the wind would blow from. Dolphins were appreciated by people for their love of life and for not being afraid of humans. The ancient Greek poet Pindar mentions dolphins' love of music. The tradition has preserved many stories and legends about how dolphins help people. When did the famous ancient Greek dolphin combat swimmers appear on the historical scene? How much did a good fighting dolphin cost? What kind of naval battles did dolphin warriors participate in? My source of information, among others, is Russian archaeologist Anton Vladimirovich Dedulkin, candidate of historical sciences, like MBA, senior lecturer at the Department of Archaeology and History of the Ancient World at the Institute of History and International Relations of the Southern Federal University. There are no written sources on this issue, so his article is devoted to the analysis of the fine art of ancient Greece. And it's quite interesting. How does realistic ancient Greek vase painting fundamentally differ from modern documentary photography? Unique and unambiguous iconographic evidence has not been interpreted properly for a long time, and yet there is a whole series of vessels depicting ancient Greek hoplites riding dolphins. Hoplites were citizen soldiers of ancient Greek city-states who were primarily armed with spears and shields. So there's one of hoplite on a dolphin. The statuette hoplite on a dolphin is an ancient Greek combat swimmer of dolphin troops. The discovery of this striking phenomenon in the military of ancient Greece became possible thanks to a fresh and unbiased understanding of pictorial sources. They must be taken literally in all their details. Now something else. A psikter is an ancient Greek vase typically made of pottery. It served as a wine cooler. The psikter of Master Otos depicts 6 soldiers of the special marine forces, sailing one after the other. The psikter, a vessel with cold water, which was placed inside the crater with wine for cooling, again, depicts those 6 warriors. The image of group of soldiers of the special marine forces on the vessel for cooling wine finds a logical explanation. Probably one of the hoplites leaving the ranks of this elite unit ordered such a red figure portrait surrounded by his colleagues as a souvenir. French researcher François Le Sarac wrote about him the following: "We see 6 bearded characters riding dolphins, wearing helmets, cuirasses, and greaves, armed with shields and spears, and each one has an inscription in front of his mouth. Epidelphinos, riding a dolphin. Equipped like hoplites, the warriors give themselves a name, calling themselves horsemen of an unusual kind of troops. If you place this psikter in a crater, the warriors will be reflected in the liquid, and you will get the impression that dolphins are swimming at the sea. And the Athenian warriors will meet with their image, with a dance of 6 warriors who sail one after another into the sea." Opus depicts warriors who swim up to a flutist standing on the shore. Olpa, a small jug for wine. By the master Theseus depicts horsemen who swim up to a flutist standing on the shore. This image could be compared with the drawing of the famous Chigi vase, where a flutist gives a signal or sets a rhyme for the hoplites in the phalanx. It was only thanks to new research that it was possible to lift the veil of mystery and obtain an interesting and unusual branch of the ancient military. This discovery allows us to take a fresh look at the reasons for the victory of the Greeks in the grand naval battle of Salamis, 480 before Common Era. Success was ensured by the use of a type of troops unknown to the Persians, combat swimmers on dolphins. Indeed, how else to explain the fact that the huge Persian fleet, which had many experienced sailors from among the Ionian Greeks and Phoenicians, was defeated? The tactics of these warriors can be recreated hypothetically based on their weapons, taking into account the peculiarities of the historical and cultural context of the era in question. In the images, hoplites and dolphins do not always have swords and shields. They're armed only with light spears. The characters with 2 javelin spears, as in the portrait of the master Theseus, probably threw them with 2 hands at the same time in the Macedonian way. This effective method is quite reliably shown in the motion picture Odysseus, directed by famous Russian filmmaker Konchalovsky. Throwing spears and darts were used when approaching the enemy, and then once on the deck of the enemy ship, the Sea Devils switched to hand-to-hand combat using the skills of pankration, the most ancient martial art of the ancient Greeks. Pankration was an ancient Greek sport, a form of martial art that combined boxing and wrestling with very few rules. It was a brutal and popular event in the ancient Olympic Games, often described as a precursor to modern mixed martial arts. The Persians could not resist the crushing punches and kicks, especially from running start and also in a jump. The fighters honed the force of the blow by smashing marble blocks stacked in quarries, which indirectly contributed to the rapid flourishing of architecture. These elite fighters undoubtedly took an active part in the Dionysian mysteries. The emblems of the shields attract attention. Among them there are images of a crater, a vessel for mixing wine and water, a kanfar, a wine cup, a kilik, a wine bowl. These images illustrate the containers used by the brave warriors for the ritual consumption of wine. This was how they reached a state of battle frenzy, and the larger the capacity, the higher the skill level. They maintained their qualifications with incessant training and organized annual Hercules Cup competitions. The term dolphin was used in ancient Greece for other purposes, and that's important. The dolphin was an ancient weapon of naval warfare. Judging by the rather few surviving descriptions, it was a massive cargo, somewhat resembling a dolphin in shape. That's how it got its name. In naval combat, when approaching an enemy ship, the dolphin was dropped onto its deck or bottom and punched through them, or broke the benches in the rowers. The dolphin could be bronze, stone, or lead. It was a conical or oblong shape with a pointed end, and it was dropped using a special rotary cargo boom. In addition, the dolphin could be mounted on the yard and dropped when the mast hung over the enemy ship when approaching side by side. The impact of the dolphin was enough to break through the planks of the deck or the bottom. The resulting hole, as a rule, led to the rapid demise of the ship due to the impossibility of its rapid sealing in combat conditions. The maintenance and training of combat dolphins was quite expensive, and only the most noble citizens could afford it. Later, due to the growth of the fleet of ancient Greece, after the reforms of Themistocles in the middle of the 5th century before Common Era, and the influx of poor citizens there, the prestige of the naval service fell sharply among the aristocracy, from whom representatives of the sea horseman detachments were formed. This unique and brilliant type of military left the historical arena and was forgotten for a long time. Written sources do not contain mentions of this, and it's not surprising because the elite unit was strictly classified. In modern times, a manual noble proposed using dolphins for military purposes for the first time in the 19th century. However, his idea remained unrealized at that time and was forgotten for almost 100 years. A number of historians claim that the original idea to use these smartest and most peaceful animals for military purposes belonged to Napoleon Bonaparte. According to the archives, I've read about this. Back in the early 19th century, the French emperor dreamed of creating a detachment of dolphin riders in order to cross the English Channel with their help, and having imperceptibly approach the shores of England to land troops there and begin seizing territories. And although the matter did not progress beyond conversations, the topic of dolphins serving in the army was discussed at different times, in different circles and countries. Definitely in Russia too, but that's in my other videos. Where did ancient artists get one of the most mysterious subjects in history? How to portray all of this that I told you about, even on dishes. See, ancient artists tried to surpass each other in the originality of their illustrations. And I think they achieved what they wanted to do. So all this was remembered about the dolphins at the end of the 19th century. And there were dolphin fighting units, like I said, in the Soviet Union and Russia. And the idea that dolphins could be used was brought back from oblivion, according to Alexander Zaitsev, a member of the Russian Maritime Heritage Association, a member of the Maritime Assembly of the Russian Federation, and who models ships. So, for example, in 1915, a Russian trainer, Vladimir Durov, proposed using dolphins for military purposes. On his initiative in the Balaclava Bay, dolphins were trained in 3 months to get training to find mines underwater, mark them with buoys. But that experiment was quickly curtailed. Fighting dolphins in the 20th century, that's from the middle of the 20th century, when the two superpowers returned to the idea of fighting dolphins at once, the United States and the USSR. But again, you can look at in other videos. I am fascinated with ancient military history, and you can find a number of my videos, including on the Assyrian underwater special forces, Assyrian, and of course the Hittites and ancient Greeks, Minoan civilization, and I've got those videos, and I'll continue looking for sources. It's very hard because so much has been destroyed in the fires set by vandals, religious fanatics, enemies, and so forth. Alexandria comes to mind, the library there. Also in Russia, there were instances, I'm sure in other countries, and we lost quite a lot. But sometimes you can find morsels of information, and that's what I will be continuing doing. If you like my research, please support through the links you find in the description to this video. I really appreciate it. And please like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.